The UK Group Assignment Second Year 2024, Group 3 by Amalie, Katrine and Maya.
Assignment. Account briefly for the most important challenges which the UK is facing right now. Analyze some of the policies that PM Keir Starmer plans to put in place to curb the challenges, and discuss what the future of the UK will look like in light of the challenges.
Have Tory rule changed Britain? And what is Tory rule? A Tory is a term for a Conservative Party member. And then we have in the left corner Rishi Sunak, who says, I am a Tory. Immigration. The UK has a higher level of immigration since post-Brexit. And Theresa May and David Cameron, who was former prime ministers, promised to bring migration down, but they failed. And then the Office for National Statistics estimated their long-term net migration, number of people immigrating. Those immigrating was 685,000 in 2023, which is the highest level since 2010, way above pre-Brexit numbers. And then former Prime Minister Boris Johnson promised that overall numbers will come down, but it wasn't until Rishi Sunak who initiated Stop the Boats, which was the deportation flights to Rwanda, that the numbers went down, and this was also the flagship of his immigration policy. House owning. House owning has become harder, especially for young people. It's a pipe dream for many because it's so expensive. Official data show that now even the middle class is squeezed, and the cheapest 10% of houses is affordable only. And why? Renting is expensive, and private rent 50% more expensive than 14 years ago. Not enough houses built, which was one of David Cameron's promises, which he failed to keep. He wanted to build starter homes aimed at first-time buyers.
NHS. What is NHS? NHS is the National Health Service. The public was dissatisfied in the NHS, so it crashed. The health infrastructure crumbled because the government did not invest enough in it. And why? One of the reasons is increased waiting time for treatment, and the nurses' and doctors' salary decreased, and their paycheck got cut by 10.5%. Economic challenges the UK is facing. Government borrowing remains high, 97% debt of gross domestic product. Interest rates are coming down but still high. In 2021, the interest rates were 5.25%, high interest rates and high house prices. Prices are still rising, cost of living is still high due to inflation. How did murder lead to riots? The 29th of July 2024 in Southport, a young man stabs and kills 3 girls and more injured. There were false rumors that the perpetrator was a Muslim asylum seeker that had a disastrous impact. The false rumors led to riots, throwing bricks at police and attacking a mosque. The court took the rare step of naming the teenager who was born in the UK to try and diffuse tensions. Right-wing extremism in the UK. What is right-wing extremism? They're big on nationalism, they tend to be racist, and some resort to violence, including terror attack, to express their political view. In the UK, you can argue that the attack in Southport was right-wing extremism on the Islamic Culture Centre. The extreme political parties like right-wing extremism are decreasing. And why right-wing extremism is happening in the UK, by the economist view, it's the mistrust of the police, the power of misinformation on social media, and immigration politics.
Conclusion. Conservative parties have failed to keep the promises made, including decreasing immigration and building houses. Therefore, you can argue the 14-year Tory rule have caused severe damage in the political and economic area in the UK. Reason why we see the anti-conservative voting. Here we have an example of the anti-conservative voting. You can see that from the latest election, the Conservative gained exactly 0 votes in the whole of UK, and the Labour gained all the places where you see the red spots. So therefore, they have a better voting gain.
Who is Keir Starmer and what is the policies he plans to put in place to curb the challenges? Keir Starmer is the current Prime Minister since 2024 and leader of the Labour Party since 2020. Policies. The first one is an absolute commitment to nuclear and NATO. Keir Starmer wants the Labour Party to be seen as fundamentally different to his predecessor. Keir Starmer wants to show that there's been a clear break with the past, and it states that Labour's commitment to the nuclear deterrent and NATO is absolute. And it's similar when talked about the membership of NATO. And then there's a new border and security command for the UK. And will it make a difference, or is it just rebranding? Keir argues that he wants to give investigators counter-terrorism like powers to monitor and restrict the activities of smuggling suspects. And then building 300,000 homes a year. It will lower the cost of owning and renting houses. And the Labour wants to do what the Conservatives promised but couldn't do. And there's a higher demand for houses and not enough places to live, which means it gets more expensive and there's more homeless people. The future. Hopefully the future for the UK will be brighter due to the new policies implemented by the Labour Party.